Today, I am going to discuss about Abstract Window Toolkit in Java, in short AWT. AWT is an API to develop GUI or window-based applications in Java. It provides us a set of user interfaces or components. It provides us the way to lay out these components. It provides to create events upon these components. The following given is the hierarchy of various classes in AWT. Topmost is component. The component has three subclasses: text component, container, and the subclass contains button, checkbox, label, list, choice, etc. The text box contains two subclasses: text area, text field. Container contains window and panel. The window in turn contains dialog and frame. The panel contains the applet subclass. How to create a frame? There are two methods or two ways to create a frame. By instantiating a frame class, which means we can create the object of the frame class, or by extending the frame class, which means we can extend or we can inherit a frame class in our program uh, by the means of single inheritance. While creating a frame, the following two attributes are most important: set size and set visible. We need to set the size of our frame, that is in the width and height of our frames, and also we need to set the visibility as true. Set visible in bracket true. We can here see that frame f is equal to new frame of. This is an example of instantiating the frame object, where new frame is the title of the frame. The given below is the given below rectangular component is the frame, where title is new frame. Using the frame object, set the size and visibility, where 250 is the width and 100 is the height. Nextly, in this program, we can see that we use frame as inheritance. By inheriting from frame class, we can create our own class, myFrame, where myFrame can be either parameterized uh, or a default constructor. Using that, the frame object, we can set the size and visibility. Nextly, the component. Component is the top of AWT hierarchy. It is an abstract class that encapsulates all the attributes of a visual component, all the user interfaces that are displayed on the screen, and they contain what the user interact with and the subclasses of the component, and are responsible for current foreground and background colors. And that is contains classes that contain that carries various colors that are to be implemented in the frames, methods that are related with the actual position of the control. Nextly, the component contains the following functions: set size, set bounds, set foreground, set background are used to set the colors, whereas set bounds is to give the coordinate of a particular component inside uh, the particular element inside the component. For example, if we need to set the size of a button in our frame, we can use the set bounds function. Nextly, the container is a subclass of a component and the superclass of all the container classes. Responsible for laying out, it contains various layout managers, flow layout, border layout, etc. It provides various methods to add or remove components. The class that extends container are known as container subclasses. Frames, dialogues, spans are examples. Nextly, container contains the following functions: void add, void remove all. Where using add function, we add various components to the frame. For example, nextly, frame in Java, it works like a main window where components are added to the application. A frame is a top-level window with a title and a border. It is normally used as the main window of a standalone application. It contains the following functions: add window listener, add background, add foreground, set size, set title, set visibility, where set title is used to set title or title to our frame. Next, background and foreground are used to give color to our frame. Delegation event model, it contains mainly three objects: the source object, the listener object, and the event object. The source object is event source is an object that is generated by the event. Nextly, the listener object, a listener is an object that listens to the event. A listener gets notified when an event occurs. And event object, an event is a change in state of an object. Firstly, we need to define standard and consistent mechanisms to handle event. A source generates an event and sends it out to one or more listeners. A listener simply waits until it receives an event. Firstly, the listener must register with a source in order to receive an event notification. Notifications are sent only to listeners that want to receive them. First, the source gets registered with the corresponding listener. When a user interacts with the source, an event object is generated. Source notifies the corresponding listener that event occurs. The listener will proceed the particular event to completion. This the action event on buttons, where button is the source and the corresponding listener is add action listener. As I said, we need to register source and listener. Firstly, for that we use add type listener, add action listener in this case, and the corresponding event is action event. And the function to be overridden in action listener is that action performed function. Whenever a button is clicked, an event occurs in the source and it is informed to the action listener. Nextly, we are going to discuss about keyboard event handling. It is generated when a keyboard input occurs. It is a subclass of input event. It contains the following constants: vk underscore 0 to vk underscore 9. It contains various functions: character, get caret, get int, get key code. It returns the key code, where get key char returns the character that was entered by the user from the keyboard. Nextly, the functions in a key listener interface: public void key pressed, public void key released, public void key typed, where all have the same event, key event, and the object of the key event is ke. As I mentioned, the event is key event. Listener are created by the implementing of one or more interfaces defined by java.awt.event package. The awt.event subpackage contains all event handling, listeners, etc. When an event occurs, the event source invokes the appropriate method defined by the listener and provides an event object as its arguments. Next, we are moving on to a program that contains key listener. This is a program that contains KeyListener. Firstly, we import awt.star package, main package. Nextly, the sub package awt.event. And nextly, we extend from it frame class and implements the KeyListener as it is an interface. Listeners are interfaces. We use a default constructor to add various components to our frame. As we all know, the key listener have three functions to be overridden. Firstly, the key pressed. Nextly, key type. And finally, key released. And this function, I'm going to run this particular function. In order to run, firstly, we create the frame object. M1, using the frame object, we set the size and visibility of the particular frame. Whenever I press a particular key, then it is messaged as key pressed. And and type only vowel. As I pressed J key, it is giving a message. I need to press a vowel. When I press a vowel, it is messaged as E for elephant, and the key is pressed. When I release the key, I get the message key is released. This is the particular keyboard listener. And thank you for listening my lecture. Thank you.